There you have it, folks. It's March. Get ready, get excited because we got the tournament here in a couple weeks. Conference tournaments have already started. We already got an automatic qualifier in Liberty, and we get another one today out of the Ohio Valley. So this is the Cordova College Corner. And today we have a couple special guests. We got Josh Palm with us. I mean, we'll get to him in just a second, but we're gonna get to the Duke fan himself, Kenny Cordova. How you doing today?
Doing well, Davis. It's Duke UNC Part 2. I'm very nervous about this game today. I think we already know who I'm picking in that game because I'd have to give up my Duke card if I chose UNC. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Part 2 of being unranked. All right. And next we got Josh Palm. I mean, you know him as Josh Elliott, but he's getting his disguise on for March Madness. How you doing today, Josh?
Excellent. I'm a man of many hats. I got many hats. So I'm doing great. I think the curse of Oklahoma State is over. We don't know yet. That was just one sample size. For the viewers, if they don't know, I was betting Oklahoma State every time, and they ended up losing every time. So I stopped betting. I went into retirement. Came out of retirement the other day against Baylor. Put a little bit of money on them to cover, and they ended up covering. So maybe we're back. So we'll see. I might maybe bet them today as well. We'll see.
Why today? Cade's out. There's no Cunningham, so can't really do that. But I thank you, Josh. I thank you, Josh, for breaking that curse because you got it at plus 12. They lost by 11, so they did cover by 1 point. And next we got our special guest.
Just by the skin of their teeth.
Just a bit, yeah. And next we got our special guest coming from, I think, Bennett Hall here in Stillwater. We got Ian Nickel. You can check him out on Twitter at Ian Nickel. How you doing today, Ian?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. And this is Wentz Hall, not Bennett.
Gotcha.
Bennett is so far away. I've been there a couple times. I'm glad where I'm at. So,
yeah,
feeling great, man.
For sure.
Thanks for having me on.
Would not recommend Bennett for future Cowboys. But let's get started with one of the biggest surprises of the week, and that was the Michigan and Illinois game earlier this week. The blowout that Illinois put on Michigan. Kenny, I'll start with you. Does this solidify 2 number 1 seeds from the Big Ten?
I think it does. That was a huge win for Illinois, having no AO playing in that game. They won by 23. Story of the game was basically the rebounding battle. I mean, 40-24 in favor of Illinois in that game. Michigan, they were only 2 of 7 from 3 in that one too. Just seemed like defensively Illinois figured them out early, and then they just weren't able to come back from it. But I think this just goes to show that any team can be beaten, especially this year in college basketball. I know Michigan was rolling for a while there, but going into the tournament, I don't think that there's any team that can't lose. So overall, I think they're the 2 best teams in the Big Ten right now.
I agree with you. I mean, Ohio State was kind of getting in on their own, but they've kind of dropped off lately. Ian, I'll go to you. Do you think this gives 2 number 1 seeds to the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think you have to look at that game and then look at both teams' body of work and say, hey, these are both 2 quality teams. You definitely have to take a look at putting them where they are. Michigan, they only got 2 losses on the year. They're still a really good team despite the blowout. Sometimes the team just has your number on a given night. And I think you just kind of look away from that game and wait till the Big 12 or the Big 10 tournament. And maybe Ohio State can make a run today. Maybe they beat Illinois, and then you have that whole 3-team chaos right there as we head into the Big 10 tournament.
Yeah. I mean, I still think Alabama, if they win the SEC, they can sneak in to get that number 1 seed from Illinois or Michigan. I think if Michigan loses early in the Big Ten and Alabama wins out, Alabama gets that number 1 seed. But honestly, I think Arkansas wins the SEC. And rolling into that, we're going to go with hot runs for this one. Arkansas and Oklahoma State. They've been on a tear lately. Arkansas, I think 11 straight SEC wins. Their last loss coming against none other than Oklahoma State on January 30th with Cade Cunningham. And Oklahoma State, even though they lost to Baylor, they've been on a tear lately too, winning 6 of the last 8, only losing to Kansas and Baylor on the road, both of them. But today, don't expect too much from Oklahoma State as they're without Cade Cunningham and Isaac Likely. So don't expect too much when they go to West Virginia today. And I will start with Ian. Does this continue for both teams, or did they peak too early?
I think Arkansas is going in the right direction. I'm not going to say they peaked too early. I think I'm concerned more about Oklahoma State peaking too early, because if they were to lose in the first round of the Big 12 tournament, then we're probably looking back and we're like, okay, maybe we did peak too early. So it's kind of one of those wait and see moments. We will see. And I think Arkansas they're cooking up, and I don't think they're stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, got to ride the must bus. Kenny, how about you?
I mean, Arkansas, I like their team. They're very balanced. Moses Moody's kind of their leading guy. He puts up 17 a game. They're a high-tempo team. They're 14th in pace in the NCAA this year. Overall, just a solid team. But for me, the SEC, it still feels like it's a crapshoot heading into the conference tournament. Bama, the way that they shoot the 3 ball, I think they could just go on a run and win it easily. We haven't seen the best from Tennessee either over the last little while. So if they get hot at the right time, then they could possibly make a run in that tournament. And there's just so many unknowns. Missouri, Florida, there's a lot of teams in the SEC. So I don't think Arkansas did it too early. Do I think they're a threat for the national title? I don't personally think so. But once again, it's still too early to see. Oklahoma State, I mean, Cade's been great, but this is a collective effort that they've been putting in over the last little while. Caleb Boone doesn't get enough credit. He's played really well, as well as Avery Anderson for you guys. So everyone points to Oklahoma State, and it's like it's Cade's team. But, I mean, he's had some help over these last few games, and I think that's why they've been able to win some games. I wouldn't rule them out to cover that spread today against West Virginia. I think that they still have quite a solid team outside of Cade. So as the line begins to climb, we'll see where it ends up, because I might take the points on that one. But if Oklahoma State has Cade, I mean, they could easily make a run in the tournament. I see no reason why not when you have a player that talented.
I think it's best for Oklahoma State to not play Cade until the NCAAs. I personally think it's best. I think we should probably lose the first round of the Big 12. Just saying, because, I mean, think about it. We've played 4 games after today. We'll play 4 games in the span of a week against top 10 opponents, pretty much. I mean, Oklahoma, even though they dropped down out of the top 10, we played Oklahoma twice, Saturday, then Monday, and then we went to Waco on Thursday, and now we're in Morgantown for today. I think it's best that we lose the first round of the Big 12, and we get some rest before the NCAAs to make a run and get Cade back healthy. And Arkansas, I think they're a real threat to the Final Four. I think they can beat anyone in the NCAA except Gonzaga, maybe, just because Gonzaga plays at a much faster pace against the Power Five or the big schools. But I only think there's 2 good teams out of the SEC, and that's Alabama and Arkansas. I think Missouri or Tennessee, if they get a conference winner, I think they can get upset in the first round. I don't really believe in them. So I'm going to go with Arkansas continues this into the NCAAs, and Oklahoma State kind of gets it back going in the NCAA. We'll move on to our next segment, and that is My Lovely Cinderella. And here we're going to pick our top Cinderella stories from the past, and we'll start from Kenny.
I mean, my favorite Cinderella run, especially over the last number of years, had to be that UConn run, winning the title in 2014. I mean, they were a 7 seed going in. Not a lot of people gave them a lot of credit. I know Shabazz Napier was really good on that team. but they had Ryan Boatwright as well, so they kind of had that two-headed backcourt. They beat St. Joe's in OT. Like, they almost didn't get out of the first round, which is what's so crazy about it. They almost lost to the 10 seed there. And then they went on, they beat the 2 seed, the 3 seed, the 4 seed, and the 1 seed before ultimately beating Kentucky in the finals. So, I mean, it was just a crazy run for them overall. Plus, anytime Kentucky loses, everyone else wins. So I was a huge fan of watching that in the final.
Yeah, I mean, was it Kelly Ollie, right?
Kevin Ollie, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Ollie using Calhoun's team to go to the championship game, you know, and then just not doing anything afterwards. I'm glad Hurley's there. I'm glad Hurley's there now. So maybe we'll see UConn get it in the tournament this year. Josh, we'll go to Josh Palm with this one. Who's your favorite Cinderella story?
Well, I would have to say one of the best ones is a couple years ago, 2019, Loyola Chicago. And here's why. They went to the Final Four. Weren't even supposed to be there. And I would imagine nobody here in this panel would be able to name any single person on that roster except for one person, and that would be the nun in the wheelchair that they showed every single game. And like it was.
Could you name it? Could you name her?
No, I couldn't. But I mean, we've seen her more than we've seen any of the roster. So I mean,
hey,
it was a great story. What's that?
Don't come at Sister Jean like that, okay?
Sister Jean.
Don't come at Sister Jean like that.
I thought she was Sister Loyola. I had no idea what her name was.
But I mean, really,
Sister Jean.
They shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have been in the Final Four. They ended up going. They lost to Michigan by 12. Wasn't like a beatdown by any means. It was just a great story. And you throw Sister Jean into the mix there, it just kind of makes it for a pretty amazing season for Loyola Chicago. So,
yeah, and that was, yeah. I mean, I can't name a player from Loyola Chicago from 2018. Could you, Kenny?
No, I have no idea.
He's looking it up right now. Ian, what's your favorite Cinderella story?
Well, I'm going to go off the beaten path here. I'm going to go with an SEC team, the 2017 South Carolina Gamecocks. What they were able to do as a 7th seed was just really impressive. They beat Duke. They beat a 12 seed in Baylor, and they ended up – or no, they were a 3 seed. My bad. I was looking at the rankings. And then they beat a Florida team pretty decently, and they only lost to Gonzaga by 4. They had some really good talent on the team in Sindarius Thornwell and PJ Dozier and Chris Silva. And I really like their coach, Frank Martin. They were a very entertaining team to watch because, you know, just as a 7th seed, you don't really expect it. You know, they were a fantastic team, and seeing them do what they did throughout the year was fun to watch.
Yeah. And now I'm going to go some special shots real quick. 2011, we had the best 2 Cinderella stories of almost all time. We got VCU going to the Elite 8, Butler going to the national championship game. If you don't remember, Gordon Hayward, the jacket of half court that hit off the backboard and almost went in to win the championship. That's always a sign that you see when we're talking about March. But I'm gonna go with Dunk City, folks. Florida Gulf Coast going to the Sweet 16 as a 15 seed. I mean, a Cinderella story making the Sweet 16 as a 15 seed. Still a Cinderella story. They beat Georgetown, who was the 2 seed. That was their last time making the tournament, I believe. They kind of went downhill for Georgetown after that. But Dunk City, they had about 20 dunks in that game against Georgetown. And they went on to beat San Diego State in the second round as well, before losing. I don't remember who they lost to, but it was one of the most fascinating teams to ever watch in the NCAA tournament, just because of how high flying they were. And now we're going to move on.
Wait, Davis, before we move on, I want to give consideration to one team because it is before all of our times, I'm sure. But the 83 NC State team with Jim Valvano that ended up beating Houston in the national title, that's one of my favorite 30 for 30 docs because they wouldn't have even made the tournament if they didn't win their conference. And so the fact that they won their conference tournament and then started rolling through the NCAAs, no one gave them a chance to beat. I think it was Clyde Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon on Houston in that final. And then they had that last second shot that everyone thought was a shot. And then it ended up the guy just grabbed it and dunked it. I mean, that's one of my favorite all-time NCAA moments, but it's also an all-time Cinderella moment as well.
Yeah, I mean, we could think back to Syracuse, right? Making the Final Four as an 11 seed. George Mason from 2006. I mean, there's a lot of Cinderella stories that are out there. I think we just took some of the ones that are
our time.
Kind of, yeah, our time. But maybe we'll go before we were born. I mean, maybe wish Paul was on here. Shout out Paul. Maybe he could have given us some of those, or Steve. I mean, they're both
making
40
it sound
plus, right?
like they're like 50 years old, like we're getting our grandfathers on here.
yeah, no, for sure. All right, now we're gonna move on to who can the slipper in 2021. Kenny, who can make a Cinderella run this season?
I think St. Bonaventure's a team, the Bonnies, that I would like to keep an eye on here. When I looked yesterday, ESPN has them as a 10 seed, and that would match them up with Missouri, who's a team that I really don't like. Like, I just don't – I think that that's first-round upset all the way. And then they would potentially get Ohio State in the second round, which Ohio State has been sliding the last little bit here. So if they get them – and they're still sliding, that's a potential upset there. So just looking at if the bracket played out that way, I think St. Bonaventure is a team that could definitely go on a run as a 10 seed. They've obviously got their conference tournament today. Defensively, they're pretty solid. They've got 5 guys who average double-digit scoring, so it's a pretty balanced starting 5 that they have. They don't have a big bench. That's the only thing that hurts them, is that if they got into foul trouble against one of those teams, then they don't really have the guys behind them to really make a run. But St. Bonaventure is a team that I'd like to keep an eye on, especially if they end up being a 10 seed.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch out for anyone coming out of that conference. Ian, who do you got?
Well, I was thinking about it, and there's, the Missouri Valley is a very tough conference right now. You have Loyola Chicago, you have Drake, and you have Missouri State. Those are those 3 teams. Whoever wins that, you just watch out for them in the tournament. I think any of those teams that gets in would be very solid. And I think another one to watch out for, Colorado State. They've been hanging around on the bubble, and I think they're playing some of their best basketball right now.
You said Colorado State? I
Yeah.
like that pick. Colorado State, I mean, I'd watch out for them. I mean, them or Boise State or even San Diego State. San Diego State is a really good team coming from a mid-major. I'd watch out for them. All right, and we'll go to Josh Palm. What do you got for us, Josh?
I love that Colorado State pick there from you, Ian. Great offensive team. Love them. Love to bet on them, too. But my little not Cinderella story, but who could probably go all the way if they can get in. I don't know what how all the brackets lay out right now. I don't know who's going to get in, who's not. But if Michigan State can get in, I think they have a potential to go a long way. And here's why. Like they got off to a very, very slow start, like horrible start. Then they started to turn around the corner. And yes, I know they did get pumped by Michigan the other week, as well as Maryland. But, I mean, they beat Illinois. They've turned it around, per se, and they're playing well against good teams. So I could see them beating, going a long way, maybe even getting to the Sweet 16, and maybe a little bit further. A big piece of that will be Langford and Henry. They need to be both healthy. Langford's really turned around in the second half of the season for them. So I like Michigan State here if they can get in. I don't know if the cards will lay out where they're gonna get in or not get in. I don't know, but if they can get in, I like Michigan State to kind of be that surprise team.
Hey, and you can't forget about one of the best names in college basketball, Rocket Watts. He's kind of stepped it up the past month and a half. leading
The
Michigan
Rocket.
to Rocket Watts. I mean, I think he led them in scoring when they beat Ohio State. He's kind of stepped it up after some high expectations for him to start off the year. And my Cinderella story, I'm going to go with the former head coach of Oklahoma State, Travis Ford, in St. Louis. They're going to knock off the Bonnies today. They're going to win. They're going to win the conference, and they're going to go on a run. I think they get in as a 10 or 11 seed if they win the conference. They kind of get like that automatic bid, but they also get in as a kind of a I can't remember the name, but yeah. I think St. Louis, they have 3 scorers in double digits averaging this year. You have the 3-headed monster of Perkins, Collins, Goodwin. I mean, the last game against UMass yesterday, Goodwin had 18 and 14. He played 40 minutes yesterday. I mean, just watch out for St. Louis because I think they're going to go on a run here.
David, I'm fine if St. Louis beats St. Bonaventure today, because then they can both be 10 seeds, and then we can just watch them go on their sides of the bracket. We'll both be right, and then Cordova College Corner looks real good with those picks.
Exactly. Our final 4 right now is Michigan State, St. Louis, St. Bonaventure, and the Missouri Valley Conference winner. I mean,
Davis, are you going to put in a bracket with that as your final 4? I think you have to.
You know what?
Because if you get then like you're number 1 in America with those picks.
You know what? With the BCMG pick, I'm with the BCMG tournament pick 'em. You get 2 entries. Remember, everyone, 2 entries, $200. You can't really miss it. You got to submit your bracket. I mean, who doesn't want to win free money on just a luck of a chance? Because you really cannot predict the tournament. Like no one can really. I mean,
it is probably your best odds to win money picking
exactly.
Bracket, so.
Exactly. So check out my bracket. I'm gonna release it on Facebook and Twitter when the bracket does get released. And my final 4, I promise you, if all 4 teams get in, will be St. Bonaventure, St. Louis, MVC winner, and Michigan State. Kenny, why don't you tell us more about that tournament challenge?
Yeah, so we've got the Blue Collar Media Group challenge when it comes to March Madness this year. We're using the Yahoo app for it. Maximum 2 entries for each person. The tiebreaker is the total score of the championship game. The winner gets $200 cash. Second place is $75. Third place, $25. Entry deadline will be before tip-off of the first game on Thursday, but we'll be posting links throughout the week for everyone to join. Send it to everyone that you know. I mean, there's tens of millions of brackets filled out every single year. You never really know who's going to win, who's going to get upset. So anyone can win this. You don't have to be a college basketball mind to win the bracket. Quite frankly, the person who normally wins your bracket probably hasn't watched a game all year. So be sure to check us out. All social platforms for Blue Collar Media Group, because we'll be pushing that over the next couple weeks.
Don't miss it. I mean, who doesn't want free money? All right, now we're going to go to our pick'em, and we kind of were talking about them earlier today. We got the Ohio Valley final today. Morehead State against 1-seeded Belmont. This is for the automatic qualifier, and probably one team out of this game will be going to the NCAA tournament. Ian, I'll start with you. Who do you got today?
Well, think about it. 6.5 seems like a lot, but I think I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to go with Belmont here.
Do you take the spread or no?
Yeah, I'll take the spread. Yeah, minus 6.5 for Belmont. Yeah.
All right, Kenny.
Yeah, I mean, these teams split in the regular season. Belmont won by 15 earlier in the year, and then Morehead State won by 7. But when Morehead State won, Belmont shot 36% and only made 6 threes. So I don't see that happening again. I think Belmont rolls them today by probably a dozen.
We'll go to our betting expert, Josh Palm.
Here's some valuable information of gambling information for you. I know nothing about these two teams, but big fan of the Belmont Stakes, the horse races. So I'm going to roll with Belmont here minus 6.5.
I mean, sometimes you have to decide that to make picks. I mean, Josh, I think half the people who fill out brackets go off that basis of, oh, I've heard of that state. I like this. I'm going to go with that, you know?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but some fun facts for you. These two teams were one of my favorites to pick against the spread. I went 20-3 picking the spread with these two teams throughout the season. It's kind of sad seeing them both go against each other. I'm going to go with Morehead State to knock off Belmont today. Money line, take it, plus 6.5. Take that. All right. Now we're going to go to the 11 a.m. games. We got Rutgers. This is kind of a bubble matchup. Rutgers minus 3.5 at Minnesota. Don't overlook it, but it's at Minnesota. Kenny, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I was actually kind of shocked that Rutgers is minus 3.5. I thought that they were going to be +3 today. I'm going to take Rutgers to win on the road, though. I think Ron Harper has a big day for them, so give me Rutgers.
Josh, I'll go to you.
Yeah, this is a toss-up for me. I actually have Rutgers winning. I have 2 units on them winning today. That being said, that 3.5 can be big, but I just don't trust Minnesota enough to lay money on them plus 3.5. So I think I got to go with the Rutgers on this one to cover and win.
All right, Ian, I'll go to you. You guys are overlooking a big key here. Ian, I'll go to you.
Look, I like Rutgers. I want to see them succeed because they don't succeed in a whole lot. But I think at the end of the day, I think you got to roll with the Gophers here. I think I'm gonna go with Minnesota.
Good, you caught on. All right. Minnesota is one of the best teams at home. Okay. They are one of the best teams at home. They've beaten Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, St. Louis. I mean, they've beaten half the Big Ten at home. And then when they're on the road, they just lose. Okay. They're on a skid. I think they're on a 6 or 7 game losing streak. But I'm going to take Minnesota here just because they're at home. I don't really trust Rutgers. But Josh, you look at the stats and you didn't look at them this one.
No,
What?
I did. And they're offensively at home. They're actually not that great.
Hey, but they're better on defense.
That's why Rutgers.
I mean,
I see your point.
because Minnesota's completely inept on the road doesn't mean that they're like a great team. Like, I mean, I still think that Rutgers is the better team. They are better at home for sure, but it's tough to be worse at home when you're 0-10 on the road.
Well, hey, so here, let me just say the wins real quick for Minnesota: St. Louis, Iowa, Michigan State, Michigan, Purdue. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, big wins for sure, but they're sliding in a big way.
You're right.
Yeah,
they're really sliding.
Yeah, they're on like a 6
And I think
right now.
I can't remember what his name is. The Patino brother, the less one.
Oh, Richard.
He's
No,
playing.
that's his kid.
Yeah, Richard, his kid. He's playing for his. He's coaching for his job today. I think if they lose this, he's fired. So that's why I think Minnesota wins this. I don't think they want to release a Patino.
We're split. Maybe don't bet it if you're watching the show today.
Yeah, I mean,
This feels like an overtime game for sure.
I think it's going to be close.
maybe
It's going to go down to the
close
wire.
game.
All right, we're gonna move on to another bubble game. We got Seton Hall at St. John's. Seton Hall is actually favorites here. They're 1-point favorites, which is surprising. Josh, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with St. John's here. They've kind of been surprising me a little bit. I like the way that they're rolling against Seton Hall. That's kind of they're a good team. Don't get me wrong. I don't lay a lot of trust into them. So yeah, give me St. John's to actually win this game outright.
Ian?
I'll have to disagree with you. Seton Hall is playing for, getting into the tournament. They're just treading oh so lightly on the bubble. It's an in and out thing every single week. They were the first team out in Joe Lenardi's bracket. They got to play with some confidence today. They need a big win. I'm going to go Seton Hall -1.
Kenny.
I mean, I'm 4-0 on lock picks in the last 4 days, and Seton Hall's my lock pick. So, I mean, I just think they need it way more. I think they're right there on the tournament bubble. And St. John's, I think they peaked a little bit early and that they're going to start sliding here. So, give me Seton Hall.
Don't let it fool you, folks. 3 of those lock picks are from the NBA. Give me St. John's to win this money line plus 100. I think St. John's, if they win this, they're in the tournament for sure. Give me St. John's, the Johnnies. All right, we're gonna go
I can't
over
believe
to
you attacked my lock picks like that. I'm kind of
Hey,
offended.
I mean, I'm 4-0-1 in the BCMG picks, and those are all college basketball. So this month, so we're gonna go with LSU at Missouri. Missouri 2-point favorites. Ian, I'll start with you.
I'm going to roll with Missouri. I know you guys don't believe in them a whole lot, but I'm going to roll with them here because I think I trust them a little more than LSU. I'll take the home team -2.
Josh, give me some facts.
LSU, one of the best offensive teams actually in the NCAA league. So I like LSU. They have some firepower there. They can shoot the 3 really well. Give me LSU to outright win.
Kenny.
LSU sucks on the road. They're 3-6. Give me Missouri. Not that I like them that much, but LSU just seems to be completely different. So,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. LSU is just horrible on defense, but they're one of the best offensive teams. Cam Thomas, I'm pretty sure he's the leading scorer out of all the freshmen in NCAA. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a third-team All-American. But give me LSU on the road to win outright +2. And if you haven't noticed, it's 4 games, 4 upset picks from me. So we're going to continue with Southern Cal -0.5 against UCLA. Kenny, I'll start with you.
LSU needs this to have a shot at the regular season title in the Pac-12 because Oregon's just ahead of them. Give me Mobley and the Trojans today to win and cover. Oregon is ahead of them in the Pac-12.
No. You said LSU.
Oh, USC. My bad. Give me Mobley and the Trojans.
Gotcha. Ian.
Shoot, I really like Mick Cronin for UCLA, but I think Evan Mobley is going to be hard to stop. Man, I think this could be like a 3-point game. I'll take USC as well.
Yep, I'm going to take USC -2.5. Josh, what's the deal with this game?
Yeah, just looking at some stats here. UCLA not good against the spread, especially. Well, at home they're actually not bad. They're 7-4, but USC 6-5 against the spread on the road. This is kind of a toss-up game for me. A coin flip. You could probably flip a coin, and you could get as good as an answer as if you were to flip your coin 10 different times. I'll take USC. I think they can win this game by 3 points, but I think it's gonna be a close one. So I'm not super confident in that pick. So.
Hey, I mean, usually the not super confident ones usually hit. I mean, let's be honest.
That's a very good point. Yeah, very good point.
We're going to go over to another bubble game. Not so much for Purdue, but for Indiana. I think if they lose this, they're completely out of it. I think they have a slim chance of making it if they win this, go on a run in the Big Ten tournament. Ian, I'll start with you. Who do you got in Indiana versus Purdue? Purdue 6.5-point favorites.
I think Purdue's going to blow them out here pretty easily. I think this could be a 15 to 20-point victory for them. I'm going to go with the Boilermakers.
Josh, give me some stats for this game.
Wisconsin only 5-6 against the spread at home.
It's Indiana, Purdue.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I meant Purdue. I meant to say. I don't know why I said Wisconsin. Purdue is 5-6 against the spread at home. and Indiana 7-5-1 against the spread on the road. That being said, they're on a little bit of a skid. 1-5 in their last 5 games against the spread. I think I'm going to go with Purdue on this one. They've been actually pretty hot at home lately. Beating Penn State by 21, Wisconsin by 4, Nebraska by 17. I like Purdue here. They should probably cover this 6.5 here. So,
Yeah, I totally agree. Dare we go on this? Kenny, did you go?
Give me Purdue by 12 in this one. They just beat Wisconsin by 4, and Indiana's nowhere as good as them. So, Purdue.
Yeah,
and rolled,
shout out
and
my
rolled
two.
at home as well.
Yeah.
Shout out my 2 favorite basketball players in NCAA right now, Race Thompson and Trace Jackson Davis, who's going to be another All-American this year, hopefully. They're one of my 2 favorite players to watch this year for Indiana, but sadly, they're not going to make the tournament. And maybe we'll see Miller's time at Indiana come to an end. Maybe. I think he gets one more year. Give me Purdue minus 6.5. All right, we're going to go over to the ACC, Kenny's favorite, Virginia minus 2 at Louisville. Josh, I'll start with you.
Boy, talk about a boring game this will be. Probably not going to watch it, Doug, to guarantee you that. But Virginia, tough to bet against right now. Louisville, don't trust them. Give me Virginia minus 2. It's going to be like 55 to 43 or something like that.
So definitely take the under.
Yeah. I don't know what the line is, but just take it.
It's probably above 100. And
122.
122? Sheesh. Take the under in that one.
Hammer it.
Just coming from Josh Palm. All right, Ian, who do you got in this one?
I'm going to go against the grain a little bit. I'm going to go with Louisville. I really like Chris Mack. I like what they're doing down there. And I'll hammer the under too. I'm feeling a little upset heavy today. I'll go Louisville.
Yeah, I'm going to just stay with Virginia. I think they're still an overrated team. But I think they win this one on the road. I don't really think any ACC team is good, except maybe Florida State. That's about it. I don't think Virginia has it. But give me Virginia minus 2. All right, we're going to go to Sunday, and we'll come back to the big games on Saturday.
It's okay. I've got Virginia winning. Don't worry, though. I'm not watching that 58-45 game today. So,
yeah,
hammer the under.
So you got Virginia minus 2? My bad, Kenny.
Yeah, that's all. No
all
one
right,
cares about
Sunday's
that game
slate.
anyway.
Hey, I'm just trying to get to your Duke pick, Sunday's slate, we got Florida at Tennessee, 2 overrated teams. We'll start with you, Kenny.
I may be the only one on the Volunteers bandwagon to win the SEC, but this is where their run starts. So give me Tennessee to win.
Oh my God, Ian, who do you got?
I kind of dig it. That's a sneaky good pick, man. I'm also gonna roll with Tennessee. It feels like, I don't know why. It feels like Florida hasn't been relevant since Billy Donovan.
Yeah.
I can't name their head coach right now, to be completely honest with you. It's been they've been so quiet. But I'm gonna roll with the Volunteers.
Didn't they make the tournament a couple years ago and lose on a buzzer beater? Or did they buzzer beat Wisconsin? I think they hit a buzzer beater to beat Wisconsin a couple years ago. So, Josh, who do you got?
Don't worry, Ian. I can't really name any coach that coaches in the NCAA, so you're good there. I do actually really like the Volunteers here. I'm going to volunteer to take the Volunteers.
Josh, do you want on the Volunteers bandwagon with me?
Yeah, I'll hop on.
Okay, all right.
Can I jump off whenever I want, though? Can I jump off whenever I want?
Hey,
Yeah.
Here we go.
Just hop on for today.
Oh, yeah.
Here's our bet. Here's our bet. Kenny, if Florida wins, you have to change your avatar and your part of your bio to Tennessee. Okay.
I'm not throwing in the bio. I'm a Duke guy. That's a sin, especially on
Okay.
Duke UNC day. That's a sin.
Okay, you gotta have the big T. Gotta have the big T.
Okay.
And we won't do it for a week just because we got NCAA coming up and we're gonna be pushing a lot. So we'll do it for until Tuesday at noon. Tuesday at noon, you have to switch it back. So you have about 2 days. And that goes for you too, Josh, since you're on the bandwagon.
That's fine. I'll get on. Yeah,
get that horrible avatar off your Twitter.
Hey, that's my friend Carlos. You don't talk about Carlos like that.
Shout out Carlos. I didn't know who it was. I thought it was from like a Canadian TV show.
No,
I didn't know what it was.
Don't talk
Carlos.
to Carlos.
Okay. Hey, Josh. I don't know who it is. I don't know who Carlos is. I didn't know there was a guy in Canada named Carlos. Anyways, but if Tennessee wins, I will change my avatar to Tennessee. So we got a Tennessee Avi bet going. Because Tennessee is completely frauds. Give me Florida to win. We're going to move on to one of the big games on Sunday, Wisconsin at Iowa. Ian, who do you got in this?
Man, it feels like Iowa is, still a top 5 team. It feels like we haven't talked about them a lot. I know Luke Garza is now a nominee for the Wooden Award that just came out, him and Cade, and 15 other finalists. I think Iowa's going to win pretty big here. I think double digits, 10 or 11.
Kenny?
I like Iowa to win this game. They handled them pretty easily earlier in the year, so I like them to win that one as well.
And we'll go to Josh Palm with the stats. What do you got?
I got no stats other than that. Iowa's fucked me a couple times this year, and I don't like them right now. But I can't bet against Wisconsin, so give me Iowa, unfortunately. So,
hey, Josh, if you're on next week, could you bring me a fraud list from your betting side so that we can get that list for the NCAA tournament?
Absolutely, yes. I gotta update the fraud list. I gotta update Nickel. I put Nickelback back on the fraud list again. They're on there 4 times, as well as Lamar Jackson. He's on there 3 times. So I got to update that thing.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe I'll make it with you next week. Maybe we'll go through the fraud list, make sure everyone's not picking these teams, in the NCAA tournament. Maybe we'll go through that.
Iowa just about got put on the fraud list because they fucked me so many times. But I mean, they're not yet. If they lose this game, they're on the fraud list.
Yeah. I'm taking Wisconsin to be on that fraud list. I was winning this big time. They're not losing on senior day with Luka Garza. All right, we're going to go over to Waco, where Dr. Pepper was founded and created. Ian, who do you got in this game? Texas Tech and Baylor.
I think you got to roll with Baylor here. I like Texas Tech. I like what Chris Beard's doing, but I think Baylor just has too much firepower to lose today or lose tomorrow.
Is that because you don't like Mac McClung or?
No. I respect Mac McClung. Don't get it twisted. They don't like me down there. That was a whole misunderstanding that we get to later.
Yeah, they don't like us, Ian. They don't like us.
They
Kenny,
do not.
My upset pick of the day, I'm taking Texas Tech to win. They've won 3 in a row. Really like this team at the start of the year. I think they're a team that could get hot at the right time and really make a run, especially in the NCAA tournament. So give me Texas Tech for their statement win of the year today.
I like that pick. Josh, who do you got?
Who are you guys talking about? Mac LeLung?
Mac McClung. If you do not know who Mac McClung is,
it sounds like
might lose it.
It sounds like a Jethro Tull song. But that
hey, here, real quick. I want you after this show to go on YouTube and look up Mac McClung highlights. That's it.
You'll become a fan.
Millions of views.
Well, after this show, you go look up Aqualung by Jethro Tull, And that's immediately what I thought of. So do it. Anyway, if Baylor loses this game, they are for sure on my fraud list. But that being said, I don't think they can. I don't think they will. Baylor for sure. They're my most hated team right now. I have a lot of hate, as you can see, but they're for sure at the top of my list. And if they lose, frauds. But I'm gonna go with them today. Give me Baylor.
It's tomorrow. I really like Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech. I think they'll cover here. The spread might be 7, 8, somewhere around there. I think they'll cover this, but they will lose. Baylor wins. Texas Tech covers. If it's above 6, take it. If it's below 6, don't go near it. All right, we're going to move on to another Sunday game. Michigan State, two hated rivals. Kenny, we'll start with you.
I mean, I'm sure most of America is picking Michigan to win this game after how they handled MSU. But MSU is at home in this game. I think they really need this one for their NCAA case. So give me Michigan State for the upset. Tom Izzo at home.
Ian, how about you?
Yeah, I'm going with Michigan here. You can't lose that bad and then come back and beat them the following week, because that game was what? That game was last week, right? So
no, it was
only a few days ago, I think.
It was 2 days ago.
It was 2 days. Yeah. What sort of? I know Tom Izzo was a great coach, but I don't think you can make that many adjustments in 2 days and beat them. So I'm going to go with Michigan.
Yeah, I agree with you, but missing the big picture. Michigan already won the Big Ten, and I think they kind of slack off. Michigan State might pull off this upset. I'll give you my pick after Josh. Josh, who do you got?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Davis. Michigan's sitting already pretty comfortable. They can't really lose anything at this point. And they're away. I know the spread isn't out yet, but take a look at the spread tomorrow for Michigan State. I think I would like to see Michigan State win this game just because I think they're going to be my Cinderella story. So,
yeah, it'll be double digits. I'm sure the spread will be double digits.
Honestly,
take Michigan State to cover. I can't really say take them to win. I don't really see them winning this game. I think Michigan wins, but take Michigan State to cover for sure. All right, this line has jumped from -9 to almost 11 now, right, Kenny? Could you check on that while I get this game going?
Yep.
We got the Saturday's 3 big games today. We got Oklahoma State at West Virginia. Not really a big game now with Cade Cunningham out with an ankle injury. We'll start with Ian, who attends Oklahoma State with me. Who do you got today?
Man, I hate going against them, but without Cade, I think we played Baylor and Iowa State, killed Iowa State, but got destroyed by Baylor. And West Virginia is more Baylor than Iowa State, and it's at West Virginia. You probably have to go with the Mountaineers here.
Yep, Kenny, who do you got?
So the line's now at -10.5. I'm going to take West Virginia to win. I don't think they're going to cover because I still think Oklahoma State is a pretty good team outside of Cade. Also, the team total is 148. I would be taking the under there as well because I don't know if without Cade if they're going to have the offense to really go over that. So,
all right, Josh. You're gonna give us some luck here or not?
Roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, to win by 9. Give me West Virginia, baby. John Denver and his West Virginia Mountaineers. Give me West Virginia by 20 points, maybe.
20? I mean, I could see it happen. I mean, honestly, they have a deep threat. I can't remember his name. It's been since January, the beginning of January, when I last watched them play. But they got Culver. I mean, Culver's a beast. We can't really match a big man like Culver. I don't really think anyone in the country can besides maybe Iowa and Michigan. So I took West Virginia at 7.5 before it was released that Cade was out. So give me West Virginia -9. I wouldn't really take a double-digit spread, but I'd take it anyways. Take West Virginia spread. All right, we got Kenny's favorite team, North Carolina, playing Duke at home. 2.5-point favorites. We'll go to you last, Kenny. I'm gonna take North Carolina -2.5. I think North Carolina really wants to see Duke out of the tournament, unless they were paid by the NCAA to hey, lose this game so that we can get you both in the tournament. Ian, who do you got?
Man, I still can't believe Duke is on. They're the 4th team out in Joe Lunardi's bracket. I could definitely see a scenario where the NCAA is like, hey, we need Duke in. So if you could lose this game, that'd be good. But I can't pick that Duke team. I'll take North Carolina. I'm sorry, Kenny, but
I don't blame
North
you.
Carolina money line, man.
They've only beaten Virginia. That's about it.
Yeah,
They've
barely.
lost to many bad teams. Josh, what do you got?
What the fuck? Who's at home here?
North Carolina.
Oh, shit. I'm gonna go with Duke. I'm gonna roll with Kenny here. Well, actually, I don't know what his pick is, but I'm gonna go with his team. I think they're in a win now situation. Well, obviously they got to win this, and I think attitudes have kind of changed there a little bit. And I'm gonna go with Duke to pull off the upset, I guess.
Wow, we're gonna go split here. Kenny
Dude.
pulling down his camera to get the Duke sweatshirt in, because he needs all the backup he can to pick the team. Kenny, who do you got?
I really respect what Ian said about I can't believe that they're still the 4th team on like first 4 out, because like they really don't deserve to be there. I said it a month ago on your show that the NCAA wants Duke to get into the tournament for ratings, for everything related to the NCAA tournament. It's not justified, but we've seen it countless times. We saw them do it with Oklahoma and Trae Young because they had no business being in the NCAA tournament, but they said, nope, we got to have that guy there because he's a ratings draw. I think Duke does win today. Obviously, I am biased. I think they need this game because if they lose today, then they have to win the ACC tournament. If they win today, they can probably make the ACC final and get in, because the way that it's shaping out right now, Duke's about the 8 or 9 seed in the ACC, which means that they would end up facing a Florida State or a Virginia along the way. So they would have to beat them anyways, which would give them another quality win. So I'm going to take Duke today. They got absolutely killed on the boards last time they played, and they gave up 30 points off turnovers. So if they don't take care of the ball today, then they'll just get run out of the building at Chapel Hill.
I agree with you. I mean, hey, can we flash back to that Oklahoma Trae Young thing you brought up? Oklahoma State should have been in. And if it was for NCAA ratings, they would not have put it as the first game of the first round at 11 o'clock. Who wants to watch Rhode Island?
They had St. Mary's out that year as well, and they had the resume to get in. And then suddenly a team with they had 15 losses. Like, it was not close.
Yeah.
And they decided, we're going to get Trae Young in there. Oh, and by the way, didn't he lose the first game? So
Oklahoma State actually knocked them out of the Big 12 first round. Yep. First round of the Big 12 conference tournament, knocked them out.
They lost to Rhode Island.
2-1, lost to Rhode Island. Oklahoma State, I mean, let's be honest, they beat Kansas twice. First time any team did that while Bill Self was there. The second team, I think, was Texas Tech. I can't remember which one. But, yeah, I'm going to take UNC here. We're going to move on to the biggest game of the day. We got Illinois at Ohio State. Is Io back?
I'll look on that. You guys chat.
All right. We'll start with Josh Palm for his last pick.
AO is game time decision with a concussion.
Gotcha. Josh, you there?
My internet's pretty shitty here. Give me.
There you go.
Ohio. No, sorry. Give me Illinois.
Illinois. All right, Ian, who you got?
I think you got to ride the momentum off that Michigan game. It feels like Illinois' game to lose. So I'm going to back the Illini. I'll take them +2, even though I hate Brad Underwood. But I think you got to go against them. You can't deny the talent there.
We hate Brad Underwood. We are the runners of the Brad Underwood hate train,
Yeah.
Kenny, who you got?
I'm going to take Ohio State today. They won by 6 on the road back in January. I know Ohio State's kind of been sliding, but I don't know how AO is going to look. From what I've read on Twitter now, it looks like he is playing today, but I think he has the mask that he's going to be wearing. So I don't know how he's going to play today.
Oh, did you not see last year? He played well with the face mask.
I know, but
he's great with it.
I mean, we'll see.
Rip Hamilton
I like
vibe.
Ohio State at home. So give me the Buckeyes.
Shout out my Twitter buddies from Illinois. I'm taking Illinois +2 money line. It's on my card. I have 5 upset picks on my card today. It's the biggest I've released as Josh Palm leaves us to go get his rankings updated. But yeah, give me the Illini, even though I dislike Brad Underwood so much. Give me the Illini to win. And with that, that's our show as we just hit 11:03. Ian, why don't you tell them where you're at and how they can find you?
Yeah, on Twitter at Ian Nickel, IANNIKKEL. That on Twitter, Instagram. I'm on YouTube as well, so you can find me on YouTube under the same name. Got some not really sports content there, but it's a good time. And then my Twitter's just overfilled with sports takes. So
and
follow
boxing.
me all there.
And boxing.
And boxing. And
Yes.
boxing. Love boxing.
Josh, where can they find you?
Where just quickly, would you mark me down there? Did I say Ohio State or Illinois?
You said Illinois.
Okay, yeah. Because I switched my mind. Anyway, whatever. You can follow me at JoshElliott9 on Twitter. A lot of sports takes, a lot of sports gambling. I have daily picks every day, as well as make sure to catch Just a Bit Outside every Friday. And if you're looking for a competitor or some more betting picks, make sure to catch Call Your Shot every Thursday. Competitive gambling show. Davis is on it. Kenny's on it. We have a good time. And we make some money. So there you go.
Yeah, and baseball's back. I mean, go to Tally site and pick those baseball games. I picked spring games yesterday. I think I went 3 and 6 because you can't really pick the spring games. Kenny, where can they find you?
You can find me on all social platforms at shooters_pod. Live show tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Episodes drop Mondays at 8 a.m. Eastern time as well. Tally site, speaking of them, just put out the top IQ for NCAA spread experts this year. Yours truly at number 1. So take some of my spreads today.
Bravo.
Yeah, wonderful,
Bravo,
wonderful, Kenny. Wonderful. I have to look at what I am. I'm sure I'm up there somewhere. I'm sure I'm more on the risk index than I am on the IQ index because I'm usually the highest with the risk, which I mean I'm still profiting. So I mean we love Tally site, but you can find me at ddog_1123 on Twitter. Follow this show's Twitter page at the CCC. And check us out, March Madness. Don't forget it. Tournament pick 'em. Win $200. Don't forget about that. We'll be releasing it next couple weeks. And we'll see you guys next week.